Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. Follow me on Instagram at P4P Boxing Real News. What is going on? So Ryan Garcia goes to Twitter for help. He goes to Twitter for help to make this Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Let me get these uploaded. So he takes to Twitter and he's saying that he wants to fight. Gervonta Tank Davis wants to fight. And he says, I want to fight. Tank Tank wants to fight me. This fight is what boxing needs right now. I accepted all the terms on my side and instructed my team to get it done exactly as offered. The fans deserve this fight. Our sport needs this fight. Ryan Garcia saying that he already agreed to everything and now it's just background bullshit that's going on in the sport of boxing, the business side of boxing. But what's crazy is people have doubted Ryan Garcia saying, oh, he really doesn't want this fight. But Ryan Garcia wants this fight ASAP. He wants this fight. He says, we got to get this bullshit figured out. This should have been the best couple of months in boxing. Spence Crawford fell apart. Me and Tank running into issues. That's not what boxing is supposed to be about. Respectfully, celebrity boxing should not be defining our sport. So maybe it's something is going on back there where fighters where he feels like, man, they're not getting the respect that they need in this sport as fighters, and they're putting celebrity boxing ahead of actual fights. He's saying that the third point was everyone talks about player empowerment in the NBA and other sport leagues. It's time to have a real conversation about player empowerment in pro boxing. He says, I want this fight for my career and real talk, my mental health. The guys in charge can make this happen. Don't let this break down. I'm asking on behalf of everyone who loves the most beautiful sport in the world. Now, Ryan Garcia, he went to Twitter and he's trying to get people to get on board with this fight. Obviously, they must be doing something in the back. He's not saying that Gervonta Tank Davis is ducking or anything. I think it's more to do with the business side of it. What the whatever promoter he's saying that he already agreed to everything. He just wants to get this fight done and actually get this fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Stephen A. Smith went on and he says, I'm on it at Ryan Garcia on Twitter. He says, you've got a supporter in me. You are absolutely right on this issue. You, Gervonta Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence is exactly what we all need to see. Sick of all this bullshit. At First Take will damn sure represent on this matter. Talk to you soon. So Ryan Garcia went to Twitter to get a helping hand. And look, Stephen A. Smith saying they definitely going to talk about this. And I think this is to wake up these promotion companies, these networks that this fight needs to happen. Look, a lot of people that felt like Ryan Garcia was bullshitting when he said he wanted this fight. They felt like Ryan Garcia was just lying to himself and just saying it. But I've been telling people for a long time now, Ryan Garcia is serious about this fight. He was dead serious when he was asking for Gervonta Tank Davis. He was dead serious when he was saying the 2 rounds. He was dead serious about this fight. I think that he set himself up for this fight. He's been wanting this fight, and people just brushed it off. Ryan Garcia don't want that fight. Instead of calling for this fight, instead of asking for this fight, right? And this is a type of fight that people want to see. They wanted to see this, but then they brush it off and throw it under the rug and say, oh, but he doesn't look like he wants this fight. Motherfucker, call his bluff, and that's what I've been reiterating. Now this fight is almost close to being finalized. Now they've run into issues. Now they need the support of people that want this fight. You see what I'm saying? Good thing Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith has a big platform like First Take. He has a voice in the sports industry. So if Stephen A. Smith's talking about it, people gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? But fans need to be calling for this fight. Fans need to be screaming for this fight, because this is a fight that can very well happen. Now, whatever they're going through, whatever the issue is, um, I'm not too sure if he's saying that, that celebrity boxing should not be defining our sport. He doesn't want Jake Paul to be the cash cow of a sport. Just because people want to see, casual fans want to see celebrity boxing. He wants actual pro fighters to actually have that voice, to actually be those guys at the top. And that's why those types of fights need to be made. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford should be made, because those are fights that could gravitate, right? Maybe casual fans don't give a fuck about it, but if they market this fight, they market a Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fight very well, they could get the fucking the fans on their side. They could get those casual fans. You just have to market this fight, those types of fights well, especially if you know that they're high profile fights. Now, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis is a high profile fight. You know, this is the type of fight that fans want to see. We want to see this type of fight because in reality, most of the time, these are called fantasy fights, fights that people, they'll say, but they'll say, well, they're not gonna fight though. They're not gonna fight though. Well, they can make that shit happen now. You know what I'm saying? They can make that shit happen now. The Jake Pauls in the sport should not be running the sport. Fighters need to take a stand and actually make those fights that actual people want to see, right? Market yourself well and get to that top level. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis is a fighter where he knocks people out. He's very exciting. When he talks, he says funny stuff out of his mouth at his press conferences, and it's just funny shit, right? 30-second clips blow up, millions of views. Ryan Garcia is the type of guy, well, he has the more lady fan bases, you know what I'm saying, where females love him, you know what I'm saying? And the stuff that he says, he trash talks, making himself very marketable, right? Obviously, he has an opinion on everything. He's very opinionated, and people, either you hate him or you love him, but you talking about him, and that's exactly what he wants. He wants you to talk about him, because if you talk about him, then you keep his name alive in everybody's ears. You see what I'm saying? Now, Ryan Garcia, obviously, he has endorsements from like Gatorade and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Soap companies and stuff like that, where he's, obviously doesn't need the sport, but he wants to make it and create a big fight and have that legacy. He's one of those guys that says belts don't matter. And in his case, belts might not matter. You know what I'm saying? In his case, belts might not matter. The reason why is because Ryan Garcia is set. He doesn't give a fuck about the belt. What he cares about is that legacy, those marquee names. So he's gonna go for Gervonta Tank Davis, which is the biggest threat in that 135-pound division. And like I've been telling people, Ryan Garcia wants this fight. Believe it or not, but people brush it under the rug and they say, you don't know what you're talking about. Ryan Garcia just saying shit. He's saying that, he's saying this, he's saying that. He's gonna pull out because he's pulled out twice. And look, man, all of that, but he was still a young man going through mental health problems, had to pull out of a fight. Was the dude gonna even beat him? Hell no, right? Then he fractures his hand. He had to pull out of that fight. I mean, what you guys want? The dude to fight him with a broken hand? You know what I'm saying? So I've always said Ryan Garcia really wants that fight, even though people have said he doesn't want that fight. He doesn't want that fight. But I've been one of the people that have said Ryan Garcia wants that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's no, and if he doesn't, you call his bluff. But look, the fight is almost being close to being finalized. But the problem now is that they're running into issues, and this is a huge problem. Hopefully that this fight could get made, right? But he says that um I want to fight Tank, and Tank wants to fight me. So it's not They're nobody ducking here. There's no such thing as both of them ducking here. He's saying that Tank also wants to fight him, and he wants to fight him. And this is the fight that we need in boxing right now. I accepted all the terms on my side and instructed my team to get it done exactly as offered. The fans deserve this fight. Our sport needs this fight, and I think that that's 100% correct. We do need this fight, right? We do want to see this fight. These two dudes, they're already, Javante Tank Davis is about 28 years old, multi-millionaire, right? Um, Ryan Garcia, another well, I would say a multi-millionaire because he has endorsements and stuff like that, sponsorships, right? Obviously. So do they need boxing? They really don't. You know what I'm saying? So why not just make a huge fight where they can also make millions of dollars with this fight, right? The way that they're going to market themselves, I think that it will be a huge fight in boxing. And I think it's a fight that we definitely need to see and push for as fans. It's very possible if they were already negotiating, because this is a type of fight that people were shitting on. People are saying, "Oh no, you don't want that fight, this and that." But behind the scenes, they've been trying to make something happen. They trying to make something shake. So I want to see this fight, and if you want to see this fight, which I'm sure everybody should want to be able to see this fight, we understand. I understand these are young men still growing and still getting better, but shit, you know what I'm saying? We still need to see these types of fights. Those marquee names need to be seen. That's why the sport of boxing, a lot of people walk away from or don't even get into, is because the fights that fans want to see, the fights that those types of that people want to see are not being made inside of boxing right now. And I think that that's a huge problem in boxing right now. And I mean, look at the um Earl Spence Terrence Crawford fight, right? Those high profile fights need to be made and finalized. I mean, I understand money is an issue in a lot of these fights, and especially when two fights aren't marketable and don't market themselves well. I think that's a huge problem in boxing as well, because yes, you are getting paid for your skill, but you're also getting paid for entertaining, and that's a huge problem. And I think a lot of fighters, these up and coming fighters, are going to find that same problem where they're not going to be able to be marketable, right? You see guys like Shakur Stevenson that, they're not the most like elusive or most like knockout power type of kids, you know what I'm saying? But where he lacks that is that he'll talk a lot of trash, you know what I'm saying? Even though, sometimes it just, he's trying to play the villain role, and it kind of bites him in the ass sometimes. He just, well, not bite him in the ass, but it's just kind of like a facade. It looks like, when you see it, but still, a lot of fans want to see that. 30-second clips need to go viral. That's the type of shit that's gonna get these fights going. These people engaged into the sport of boxing. These casual fans, the eyeballs, the buyers, the credit cards that come out, everything. Those are the type of fights, and fighters need to market themselves, entertain the people. And I felt like a lot of fighters are trying to, and then a lot of fighters, they're just like, well, my skills is what it is, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna go in there. But like I said, if you're a boring ass fighter, you know what I'm saying, people are really just gonna look away. They'll catch the highlights afterwards, you know what I mean? And that's a huge problem as well. So if you want to be successful and shit, you could fight for what? You can fight for a couple of years. You don't even have to be a full-fledged fighter. You know what I'm saying? You got guys like Jake Paul just coming into the sport and taking over in an attempt to take over. You know what I'm saying? Just fighting MMA guys. You know what I mean? But this fight needs to happen. Like Ryan Garcia says, this fight needs to happen right now. Okay. I accepted all the terms on my side and instructed my team to get it done exactly as offered. I wonder what's holding this fight back. That's what I'm wondering. You know what I'm saying? I wonder what's holding this fight back, because if Javante Tank Davis does want to fight him and he wants to fight Javante Tank Davis as well, something is there. I guess the analytics, you know what I'm saying? I guess the analytics, I don't know. But I'll definitely keep y'all updated, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. Follow me on Instagram at P4P Boxing Real News, and we out. Peace.